Hi everyone and welcome to Triangular Micro OS YouTube channel. In this video I will show Triangular Micro OS 1.36 for Commodore 128. Micro OS is a graphical user interface operating system for Commodore 8-bit microcomputers written entirely in BASIC programming language. It is a fun project and is released for Commodore PET, VIC-20, C64, CBM2, +4, and Commodore 128 thus far, with more machines to come. Please feel free to comment, like, share this video and subscribe to my channel. Version 1.36 is the newest version and is written for Commodore 128. This computer was released in 1985 and is an expanded version of legendary Commodore 64. Among many improvements, it has twice as much memory, 2 processors, 2 video chips and 3 modes of operation. Standard Commodore 128 mode with much expanded BASIC 7.0. Commodore 64 emulation, and lastly CPM mode. Micro OS works only in standard Commodore 128 mode with 1 MHz processor and a 40-column VIC-2 display, which amounts to a resolution of 320 on 200 pixels. Additionally, Micro OS requires at least 1 disk drive to start. Commodore 1581 disk drive is recommended. Also, a second disk drive can be used to store documents on a different diskette than system disk. Micro OS supports printers set as any device number from 4 to 7. If you don't have Commodore 128, use the Vice emulator. Links to Triangular Micro OS 1.36 system disk and Vice emulator are in the description box. Let's start Commodore 128 and load the Triangular Micro OS. Micro OS BIOS will first test the machine and then load the operating system. In the launch screen, press F1 to enter the BIOS setup menu, where you will see basic specs of your machine. You can change boot and work drives or change time among other options. To store documents on another disk drive, I changed the work disk to device number 9. In order to save changes, BIOS needs reboot. This time I will let BIOS load Micro OS. Now we are in Micro OS graphical user interface. It consists of a joystick-operated mouse pointer, desktop with icons, and a taskbar with clock. Let's move the mouse pointer to the triangular logo below to open the Start menu. It contains settings, restart, and shutdown options. Let's start settings. In Micro OS, all windows can be moved. First, go to the title bar and just click on it. After clicking, the mouse pointer will move to the upper left corner of the window and change shape to little square. Moving this square to a new position will show where the window will be moved. Click again to confirm the new position. Micro OS 1.36 improved this mechanism by adding time updates and fixing a few issues it had in version 1.35. Settings window is divided into 2 tabs, System and Graphics. In the Default System tab you can change time and work disk to one of available disk drives. Also, printer device number can be selected. Simply match the device number of your printer. In my setup I will select number 4, which is the mostly used number. Confirm changes by clicking on Apply button. Now let's go to the Graphics tab. Here you can change the color theme of the Micro OS. Choose from 32 patterns and 16 desktop colors in addition to 14 colors for title bar. There are over 6,700 possible combinations. Don't forget to click on the Apply button to save changes. Clicking on the Default button will bring back the default color theme. Close the settings window without saving to discard changes. Now let's open the Apps folder. Here are 4 programs. Let's try the math calculator first. To enter numbers, click on buttons with digits or enter them from the keyboard. Numbers are entered into register B. To assign it to register A, click button with equal sign or hit return or enter key. Button with the pi symbol will enter the value of pi. Now you can perform operations using register A, or A and B. Click this button to swap values in those registers. This button will memorize the value of register A in the clipboard. And this button will bring value from memory into register A. Now let's open a program called Words. Words is triangular micro OS word processor. You can paste values from the math calculator here too, by pressing F7 key. Press F4 to save the document to file. Press F1 to start a new document. And F3 to load it back again. To print, press F5 key. This is how this document looks like when printed on a Commodore printer. You can copy the line with the F6 key and later paste it. Press F8 to exit. If it is a number, it can be used in the math calculator. Next, let's launch Monitor. It is a simple program to edit computer memory locations. Type Help or see Manual to learn about its commands. Let's edit screen memory. This command will start a machine language subroutine that clears the screen. Now let's start Synth, an electronic piano. You can play music using keyboard keys. Change volume or change voice using function keys. Press F8 to exit. Now let's open this Commodore 128 folder and then disk program. It will display a list of disk files and you can start programs by simply clicking on them. Process of retrieving disk content is really slow. You can open available disk drives by clicking on buttons with their number. In this folder there is another program that handles disk content called CMD. Although more powerful, it is command operated. Type Help or see Manual to learn about its commands. Now let's open the games folder. This is the most entertaining part of Micro OS. Let's start with SimCity. Press F1 to start game. You will start with an empty city and $1,000 in hand and have to place residential, commercial and industrial zones with R, C and I keys. But without roads there won't be any development of those zones. Press space to place them. After a while your city will be alive and will be bringing money. Develop your city as long as you like to. Press F1 to go back to the main menu. And F8 to exit the game. Let's open Star Wars. Luke Skywalker has a mission to capture Darth Vader to save the galaxy. But first he must get through a regiment of TIE fighters. Press F1 to start the game. In Micro OS 1.36 sound effects and gameplay are added. Aim at TIE fighters using a joystick and press fire to shoot. Since blast will travel the whole height of the screen, my pro tip is to aim at the top of the target area to have a better chance to hit incoming TIE fighters. Once the last of them is shot down, Luke will meet with Darth Vader and learn about his biggest secret. Now press F1 once to skip the intro. And again to skip the title screen. Press F8 to exit. Now let's start a game called Crab in New York. I originally released this game in machine language in 2017, then converted it to BASIC and added it to Micro OS. Press F1 to start the game. Use the joystick to guide this cute crab through the dangerous streets of New York City. Avoiding cars and subways, reach the upper side of the screen to complete each of 9 levels. With each level, New York City drivers become more and more frenzy. My personal record is level 8. Press F8 to exit. Let's start a game called Treasure Chamber. It was written by Fabrizio Caruso in 2020. Press F1 to start. Using a joystick, move the red character in search of treasures. Be aware of ghosts that will follow you. Once they touch you, you will lose 1 life. When you hit a wall, you will immediately lose all lives. Press F8 to exit. Up pointing arrow button on the right of the clock will close all windows. Now let's open Start menu and shut down the Micro OS. That will perform a soft restart of Commodore 128. There is also released a software development kit for Triangular Micro OS 1.36. Link is in the description box below. In it are included Programmer's Reference Guide with all relevant information about Micro OS 1.36, its source code written in BASIC in bus files, default config file and template program with its source code. Template is a program that helps to create new Micro OS windowed applications. It consists of a demo application in addition to System Core. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like, comment and share this video. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel to be notified on further updates that will come with Triangular Micro OS 1.40. Drop in again.